Hello, welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back to those who have been with me on this YouTube journey. I'm actually going to start this video briefly by saying, please excuse my voice. I'm sick and I've been staying away from clients and trying not to work. It is not COVID, thank God. It's something that I caught. So I just want to start off by saying, please excuse this voice, but let's go ahead and jump into this material. Now, recently I did a video on how to overcome narcissistic parents. I do a lot of informational videos on narcissistic parents. This video is going to be the same thing. However, I'm going to add a little bit of a twist. We're going to talk about the combination of narcissism and schizophrenia. Narcissism and psychosis. Can both of those things exist at the same time? Absolutely. Let me give you a few examples of how this can exist together. Let's say, for example, you have a narcissistic father. He's very self-aggrandizing. He's self-centered. He's egocentric, right? He's manipulative. He doesn't care anything about you, your emotions, other people's emotions. He needs to feel important and be talked about, praised, right? So let's say that's your father. Well, you may also learn over time that your father has these very rigid beliefs. And these rigid beliefs have kind of transformed into paranoia. On top of that, he may also have hallucinations. He may hear, see, smell, taste, or feel things that's not true. And so if that's the case, and both disorders exist at the same time, which is called co-morbidity, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the video, then he can have narcissism and schizophrenia. But before we jump into this, let me just briefly introduce myself in case you are new. My name is Tamra. I'm internationally and board certified in trauma therapy. I'm licensed in mental health. I specialize in treating children, teens, and families, as well as adults who are dealing with trauma. Let's jump in. I talk about comorbidity a lot on this channel, and one of the reasons why is because I'm of the firm belief, and many other healthcare providers working with trauma, that things coexist with other things, right? Depression often coexists with anxiety. Anxiety often coexists with depression. Schizophrenia sometimes coexists with a personality disorder such as narcissism or sociopathy, and avoidant and dependent personality disorder can often coexist with depression as well. When you're avoidant, you want close relationships, but you push people away. You want close relationships, but it's really hard to engage. It's like this debilitating social anxiety that's far above social anxiety. And so you may be isolating because you can't connect with people. You don't know how, and it's not a fun experience when you do, but you desire the connection. If that makes sense, that can coexist with depression. Now, dependent personality says, I can't do anything without you. I can't do anything by myself. And so therefore I need you. And so that can lead to depression as well. So a lot of mental health conditions coexist with other conditions. One last comorbidity may be substance abuse and depression. So if you're depressed, you most likely will abuse alcohol or marijuana or some kind of other drug, over-the-counter prescription drug, right? So therefore that's going to coexist as well. When we're talking about psychotic features, things get a little twisted because there's something known as positive psychotic features and negative. So let me explain. Positive psychotic symptoms would be something like delusions and hallucinations. The way that you want to think of positive is the plus sign. I'll put it that way, right? It's an addition of something. The individual has acquired a symptom, right? It's something being added to the equation. Positive psychotic symptoms would be, again, delusions and hallucinations. Go ahead and check this video out at the end of this video so that you can learn a little bit about those symptoms. Now, negative psychotic features would be something like there is little to no hallucinations, there's little to no delusions, there's a lot of anhedonia, which is a lack of pleasure in things once enjoyed, there's low motivation, and there is also an inability to connect with other people. So you're isolating, right? You're not feeling up to your usual self, right? You're feeling really dejected and potentially even rejected. So those are important when considering psychosis. Now, if we go and incorporate that personality disorder, there is a lot of research that says schizoid personality disorder is a personality disorder that can sometimes coexist with schizophrenia. Now, here's how it does. These particular disorders right here on this screen are considered personality disorders. The reason that they look like schizophrenia is because there's a lot of psychotic features, right? They are odd, they're eccentric, they're different, they're really, isolative, and they're kind of isolating by choice. I'll put it that way. They have a foundational paranoia, and they may be eccentric, flamboyant in some ways, and they just seem a bit odd. I'm sure you've seen those people. We're not talking autism spectrum disorder or Asperger's difference. We're talking, this is an eccentric personality, and you can sense in your own heart, right, in your own intuition, something's off here. Right? I also want to bring in paranoid personality disorder. That can coexist with schizophrenia as well. And there's this undercurrent paranoia, and the person has always been like that, and they can get a diagnosis of being a paranoid personality. But, again, it's a personality disorder. So it's kind of a series of character traits that has been pervasive and consistent, chronic over time. So what have you lost in terms of having a parent like this? Well, if you have a parent that has schizophrenia or psychosis and narcissism at the same time, you're probably not going to have the parent-child relationship that you need as an adult. So let me point out some things that you have likely experienced. The first thing that you have lost if you have a parent like this is validation and approval. All kids want validation and approval from adults, from people that they love and people who they believe love them. And when you're not validated and approved of by that parent, it really causes you to go into a tailspin psychologically, because then you start checking and then rechecking what's happening in the relationship. And if it doesn't add up, it's likely going to lead to depression. It's likely going to lead to anxiety, and in a lot of cases, PTSD. It's difficult trying to understand why your parent is behaving as they are behaving. Why are they hearing and seeing things? Why are they so self-aggrandizing? Why are they so arrogant? And yet there's a psychotic piece to them as well. So all of that second guessing and questioning and wondering is really causing you to almost go crazy yourself. So, it's really difficult to live life with this parent, especially when you need that validation and approval. Now, the next thing is you have lost the modeled love and affection that you are going to need for the rest of your life. Parents are the first people in our world that we connect with. We rely on them for comfort and food and safety and all kind of basic needs, right? When we come into the world. If you grow up over time with a parent that doesn't model love and affection, what do you think you're going to do when you get older? Most likely you're not going to know what it means to be loved. You're not going to know what it means to have a healthy relationship with another adult, right? And you may take some really dysfunctional traits from your parent-child relationship and actually create some chaos for your own child. It's a trap and a triangle for sure. The next thing is that you're not going to have healthy conversations with this parent. So this parent may be very psychotic and odd and eccentric in some ways, right? Having delusions and hallucinations and causing you to second guess your own reality. But on the flip side of that coin, you're probably going to have some issues with this parent where they monopolize conversations. They take over, the baton that you may pass them, right? So here's an example. You may sit down with your parent and say, "Mom, how has your week been?" "Oh, it's been fine. How's your week been?" Here's the twist. Here's where it happens. My week has been pretty good. It's just been really hard. That parent's going to cut you off and say, "You know what? It's been really hard for me too. You won't believe what happened to me yesterday. And let me tell you what your dad did." The whole conversation is lost. So you're going to get that kind of a parent. If they have narcissistic traits and schizophrenia, they may have this really psychotic, delusional edge to them, but at the same time, they're narcissistic. So they're going to monopolize the conversations and control everything. The next thing that you have lost or most likely can lose is stability and equilibrium. How are you supposed to have a healthy relationship with anyone if you've lost the ability to be stable and balanced, right? And if you've never had a parent explain that to you, that we are supposed to be balanced. We're supposed to have equilibrium. Things are supposed to be healthy in our relationship as the child and the parents, right? That connection has to be healthy. And if it's not, you lose equilibrium and stability. The next thing that you most likely will lose or have lost is loyalty and consistency. How can you grow up believing in relationships as being something that you can trust in and build and work toward or work through if you couldn't do that with your parent? Again, having a relationship with your parent that's healthy sets the stage for future relationships. Let me also add to this equation that research suggests that most kids benefit the most from their same gender, same sex parent. If you're a daughter, you need your mother. If you're a son, you need your father. And research suggests that that's the healthiest thing that can happen in a child's life. And when that has been stolen from you, right, there's been no foundation between you and your parent. It's just disrupted and unhealthy. You're most likely to struggle. The next thing is you're going to struggle with a sense of lost perspective, lost self, right? And you may also not know who you truly are. It kind of goes back to what I said earlier. You have to have that firm foundation with the parent. And if you don't, you're most likely going to have a hard time trying to figure out who you are and why you think the way you think, why you feel the way you feel. You're really kind of having these blindfolders on, feeling around in the dark, trying to see life and what's this and what's that over there. There is no parent to guide you, to love you, to give you the wisdom that they have and should have gained over time. So your whole ability to function in a healthy way in life is disrupted by a parent who has psychotic features but is also very narcissistic. Thank you so much for being with me today in this short video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful, and hit that subscribe button so you can stick around for more videos, and that bell button, because every time I post a video, you're gonna get notified, which means you can be the first to comment. You can be the first to, engage in this video. So make sure you hit that bell button. It really does help me out a lot on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.